What's going on, everybody? Got a 82 maico 250 engine here. Bunch of parts, carburetor. The bike had trouble shifting a long time ago. I imagine it's because these clutches disintegrated. Chain's all worn. Needs some work. Trying to get her back up. At least the cylinder, I took a peek in here. Here, I'll just show you. Looks pretty decent. It's a little tired, but it's a bike from 1982. But trying to make a parts list and get this thing up and running. So this is the bike right here. I'm going through it right now. Put some new bars on it. I'm gonna get some new levers, try to get all new cables. I need to get some new brake shoes, new tires. Not worried about going into the paint right now for the frame because I want to ride it and it'll just put it right back to where it's at. Might need a new ignition or whatever you want to call this for on these older bikes. Needs new head stem bearings. I don't know if I mentioned that, but this was the original frame for the bike, but the rear end has shifted over, so it was crashed pretty bad back in the day, and you can see where they've gusseted it and welded things together and tried to make this bike stronger. I'll probably end up having to do the same thing because this was an old motocross bike from back in the day. My dad said he got it from Mickey Diamond, so I imagine with this AMA band it's more than likely true. Unfortunately, it's missing the tag on the front of the frame, but you can see how thrashed this bike was. You got ridden hard and the thin metal just couldn't hold up. But yep, that's what got going, and hopefully make some progress here. And also on a side note, here's another bike project I have. This is an 81 490 twin shock. I have a buddy that TIG welds, and I gotta bring this to him. You can see here, I got this bike down in New Mexico, so completely different than where that last frame I showed you came from. And they put in gussets here. I imagine this is from the factory or dealership or something like that, or I don't know. It's weird, but this was an 81, so that's prior to that bike over there being an 82. I got a 83 490 right here. I need to go through the suspension and put new seals in. I sent the suspension off from this 82 250 to Nolan Racing, so hopefully everything comes back in good working order. And then here is a 81 250 I plan on building next after I get done with this bike and fixing the suspension on that 83. But tons of bike projects in here, and just a matter of getting a hold of parts whenever they come available. So what I'm doing right now is taking the cylinder head off, so I get these engine mounts to the frame off. I figured while I have it off. Darn trains. I could have it cerakoted. And it's gonna have to come off regardless. Got some pitting in here. A lot of carbon. But overall not too bad. Now, let's bring the cylinder. If you guys see in there, it looks pretty darn good. So, I got a 13mm wrench. I got these broke loose. My socket will not fit down through these holes. It is too thick. Even a chrome socket. I don't have an extra one I want to destroy. So, just gotta take some time with it. This engine's pretty grimy. My plans with this bike is to get it all in running order. Like I said with the frame, I'm not worried about the cosmetics because I want to ride this bike and I'll just end up destroying the powder coat on it. But I figured I might as well do the engine right now, get the jug cerakoted before everything goes back together, make it look nice so I don't have to tear the engine back down. I don't plan on putting a whole bunch of hours on this bike. A few, but not a lot. Not as much as what my dad probably put on it. And then hopefully Gary from SoCal Maico is still rebuilding these things to where I can send this down to him and have him build it and get it all back together and running right, because he's obviously been working on these things probably since I've been alive, and I wasn't the one to take this engine apart, so I don't know exactly how all the beveled washers were in the clutch basket, and just little clips and whatnot here and there. By the looks of the cylinder, this thing's in really good shape. Like I said, I get it cleaned up and kind of go from there. I'll let whoever I could find to build this engine decide if it's within their spec or not. So I'm gonna be pretty hard on this bike. I'm not, I don't know how to say it, I'm not the slowest rider. I'm not definitely the fastest, but I'm pretty hard on stuff in respect to when I ride it. I'm riding the bike pretty hard, so having everything be as good as it can helps. Be nice if I had a socket to drop down in here. It'd be already a done job. And here's the nut to make it easy on you to be able to change this stuff out. Back in the day, I don't really care about that now. All these newer bikes. Ooh, this one pulled the stud out. Cool. I imagine this thing is going to be on here. Try to break her loose by hand because I don't want to break anything. These bikes are hard to get parts for. So for some reason I don't have a mallet. Try to pry the back of this engine up a little bit. It's pretty well on there. If this was a newer bike, I wouldn't be so scared to give her taps with a hammer, but like I said, since it's such an older bike and the parts are not easy to find, makes it a little harder. I'm gonna sit here and think about what I could do to where I could get some taps on it and not break it. So what I'm trying now, since this is basically corroded or welded or whatever, it's stuck on here pretty good. I don't know the last time. Couldn't even guess the last time this cylinder head came off, or this bottom end. So I'm trying to get the cylinder head to grow in size and keep the bottom end to where it's cold, to where the metal expands, and hopefully I could tap her loose and not catch some stuff on fire here. I don't know how I can get this thing off without destroying it. There we go. That's what we needed. This baby is glued on. Check it out, guys. You can see in there, but cylinder is in decent shape. Probably get away with just using a ball hone. See what like I said, somebody that knows more than me about these things says about it. Take their opinion, because they know more than I do. Piston's in really good condition as well. Rod has zero play. It's really good. So hopefully we can get away with just get new bearings into this bottom end and new clutch, maybe some worn out gears, but yeah, make some good progress on this thing now that we know what we're working with. Look what just showed up. I got a brake pedal little attachment to give me some grip, the rear brake, and then this brake rod. It's a good looking piece. It's a gentleman local to where I am, makes this stuff. I need to get a hold of him, but I believe the rear brake somewhere right here. I'm gonna find that and get back to you. So here's this rear brake attachment. Goes on like so. Just drill a hole. Gives you the supplied hardware. No more boots slipping off. And then that rod just goes in right here, all the way back to the rear drum. It's the previous one. I'll just show you guys here. Is just goes through at an angle, goes through. There's no real fine adjustment to it or nothing. So here's what I'm talking about with that rod. Just bends right in there. Got the spring back here. Should be a way better unit. So sorry, getting a little ahead of myself with the videos, but I'm gonna be powder coating some parts here, so I'm sandblasting. This is a cylinder head mount. This is kind of a before. After. Got this brake pedal. Got the hole drilled out for that tip. I sharpened up, not much, because I'd end up with very low material, but sharpen the pegs up just a hair. I'm gonna try to get aftermarket ones for it, but right now it's what I got, so keep going from there. I'll show you once I get the powder on these parts. So here are the final products. Did a prismatic ink black. Turned out pretty good. It's hard to get into those corners and into these deep spots with the gun I have. It's just a Eastwood gun. I'm really happy with the brake pedal. Turned out really good. Happy with this product. Fits really well. Excited to put it on. Engine mounts turned out good. So, what I've going on now, I've cleaned this the best I could to get all like the grease off and everything else like that. And I'm gonna sandblast it. Try to keep the mating surfaces untouched, get all this carbon out of there. And cerakote this. And if there's a guy that is advertising on Facebook Marketplace that he could cerakote dirt bike parts. If he can't do this, then I'll probably end up just spray painting it, because I cleaned this off with brake cleaner and the paint started coming right off, so I imagine it's an aerosol can paint job that the factory did. So throw it into the sandblasting cabinet and sit here for a little while and try to get that thing down to bare metal. So here's a cylinder after I got her sandblasted. Turned out pretty good. Ready to get coated. I gotta do the same with the cylinder. It's pretty grimy. I need a pressure wash because down in here it's really hard to get with the brush that I got. But making really good progress. Happy how it's turning out. And stay tuned to see some more progress on this bike. Thank you for watching.